guys, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new to my channel, I'm Patty, and on Mondays I make gnomes, and on Thursdays I do budget-friendly home decor. Today I am going to share with you how to prepare corn husks for crafting. I'm going to show you how to dye them, and I'm also going to show you how to mix colors so that you can get the color that you like. And then I'm going to show you a couple projects that I made with them. If you want to know how to make them, stick around. I'll show you how. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. Okay, first thing you do is you're going to start with a package of corn husk. I got mine at Amazon, and you're just going to get a big bucket to put them in. You're going to kind of spread them out a little bit. You're going to have to bleach them. Put about 1.5 cups of bleach in the water, and this will keep them from mildewing and molding. You want to make sure you don't skip this step, and they will smell kind of funny when you first buy them and open up the packs, but once you get this bleach through there, it totally takes that smell away. Just pour it in there, and then I'm going to come back in and pour another bucket of water in top of it, and you're going to let them set for 24 hours. Just kind of push them down in there, and then I needed some more water, so I added more. And then after 4 hours, go back in and just turn them, because you want to make sure that they get completely saturated all the way around. And then I'm just going to put a lid on mine and let it set overnight. Next, I went ahead and took them into the sink and I rinsed them out, and now I'm just going to kind of lightly dry them off. Okay, I'm not dividing mine up because I'm going to do them in 2 different colors. You can do as many colors as you want, but I'm just kind of laying them out so I can sort them out. I'm going to take one of my stacks and I am going to dye it a eggplant color. So just put it in your bucket and kind of spread them out a little bit, just to kind of make sure that the dye does evenly go through these. And I'm just using the Rite eggplant. I'm just going to use the hottest water that I have out of my tap, and mine ended up being 126 degrees, which was plenty. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1 bucket in there, and then I'm going to mix my color with the 2nd bucket of water. And I'm putting probably about 1/4 of the bottle into this bucket. Then just stir it up real good, and then just pour it over the top of your corn husks. Now you're going to let your corn husks set in this overnight because you want to make sure that it gets good and saturated. And then after it's set overnight, just take it and rinse it out and rinse all the corn husks under the water until your water runs pretty clean. And this is how they turn out. You know, they got some different levels of the darkness, but they turn out really nice. And then next I'm going to show you how I'm going to take these and some plain ones and make a wreath. Start with a 10-inch straw wreath, and you're going to take your corn husks and you're going to tear them into strips, and then you start gluing them on. Now these are just still a little bit damp. They're not wet, but they're just a little bit damp, and that's what you want to start with. And we're just going to go ahead and go all the way around this wreath, filling it in, and then we're going to come back in and we're going to start filling in the gaps because we want it to be pretty full. If you wait till these are completely dry, it'll be a little bit harder to put all this together. So make sure that they are just a little bit on the damp side. And then start filling in here. So you're going to start overlapping and filling in all the areas between. The fuller you get it, the prettier it is. And now I'm going to take my purple ones and I'm going to lightly dry them a little bit because they are still a little bit wet, and then I'm going to start tearing them apart. And then I'm going to come in through the bottom and glue the bottom down and then pull them over the top like this. That way you'll still have, they'll be a little bit shorter than the ones from behind it, and it'll just start really filling in and looking pretty. So just glue the bottom and then wrap it around the top. And just keep going until you get it completely filled in. And this really was a real quick and easy project. The longest time was letting the dye the corn husks, but other than that, this went together pretty quick. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and flip it over, and we're just going to go ahead and attach a little wire so we can hang it. And there's wrapped around the straw wreath, there's these little wires, so you have something to connect onto. Just kind of make sure you get a loop in there so that you can hang it. And then I went back in and added a little bit of wheat, just kind of randomly around it, kind of evenly spaced. Besides dyeing the corn husk, this was a pretty quick and easy project to make. And I think it turned out beautiful. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm using 3 different colors to make the orange that I was wanting. I'm going to use golden yellow, tan, and sunshine orange. Now I'm going to go ahead and pour my hot water over my cleaned corn husks. And then I'm going to start mixing some colors. I'm going to use half of the golden yellow. And then I'm going to use a fourth of each of the tan and the sunshine orange. Now on the Rite website, they have over 500 colors combinations that you could mix by mixing their colors, and it shows you a swatch of all of them. So check that out because you can make a lot of beautiful colors by mixing colors. I'm just going to mix it in real good, and I'm just going to go ahead and pour it over my corn husks. Now I'm going to let my corn husks, like I did on the purple ones, I'm going to let that set overnight. And then the next day, just go ahead and rinse them until you have no color running through them. And then just we'll be prepared to make the next project. On this one, I just took one of the styrofoam pumpkins from Dollar Tree and I cut an opening in the center of it with an X-Acto knife so I can make a flower arrangement. And you're just going to take your corn husk and you're going to tear them into like 1-inch strips until you have a bunch of them made. Then we're going to start adhering them to the pumpkin with some hot glue. So we're just going to go around the inside top, and then we're going to glue them all the way around to the underside. And you're going to keep going, and you're going to overlap each one as you're going. So you're going to probably overlap them maybe 1/4 of an inch all the way around, but you want to get it pretty full. And then when you get completely done and your pumpkin's completely dried, if you have any gaps, you can come back in and add some more of the corn husks. Now I'm gluing at the top, and it's holding really well. The bottom gets a little bit heavier here in a little bit, and I'm going to start adding straight pins to hold that in place. That's where it started lifting. So I'm going to go ahead and get my pins out, and I'm just going to start pinning it down. You're just trying to get the shape because we're going to come back in and take the pins out, and then it'll glue in nicely. Okay, and then we're going to start pinning them in, and just pin them on both sides, and just keep going until you can have it completely filled up. Now don't worry about all the pins being underneath all the other corn husks because it is easy to remove them after we're done. Just keep going around till you have it pretty full. And kind of stretch them as you're going to because you want to make sure that they are snug. Okay, after it's set overnight and completely dried, I'm going to go ahead and take all my pins out, and then I'm going to start gluing it in. Just make sure you get all your pins out, and then I'm going to come back into as I'm gluing it in and cutting a little bit of the excess on the bottom out. But don't worry so much if it's not balanced because we are going to put rocks in the top of it when we're done. Just get it all glued down so it's completely sealed in. Now I'm going to start decorating it. I'm going to take a piece of styrofoam and stick it down inside of it. And then I'm going to pull it over to the side and I'm going to put some glue in it. And then to give it some balance, I'm going to put some rocks in it. And you can use any kind of vase filler you want to. I just had some of these little rocks I'm going to put in there. So I'm just going to pour part of them on the side, and I'm going to put part on the other side. And this will keep it balanced. Okay, next I'm just going to start decorating it, and I'm using some flowers from the Dollar Tree. I'm just kind of grouping them together. I'm going to put a lot of flowers down at the very base of this, and then I'm going to start building it up. And then I'm going to take a leaf and put it down the front just to kind of give a little bit of overhang, because it really looks good when you add something that kind of overhangs onto the base as well. And then next I'm going to start adding textures, and I'm going to start building this up, and I'm going to use several different textures. They just look really good in fall arrangements. And I got most of these at Hobby Lobby. If you watch right now, they're on sale. You can get little bundles for a pretty good price. Just kind of build it up. And then I'm going to put a little bit of pampas grass in there too. That really looks good in arrangement. The pampas grass does. It really kind of sets it off. You just keep adding what you want to it until you have it like you like it. And then I'm going to add a little bit of wheat to mine. And then I'm going to add a little bit more pampas grass. And then I'm just going to add a couple little pine cones in here. If you've dyed corn husks before, I'd love to hear in the comments what colors you used and what you created with them. If you like these kind of videos, be sure and give me a like. If you want to see future videos, be sure and subscribe. And if you want to be notified when I have a new video upload, be sure and hit the bell. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.